Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm at a vineyard outside of Santa Barbara for a special media drive event, and it's all for this vehicle right here. This is it. This is a 2022 totally redesigned Lexus RX, but guess what? We got the top dog. This is the RX 500H. I'm not done yet. F Sport Performance. But before we get into this redesign of the original luxury crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. Lexus, they are on a rampage going through their lineup, not only sedans, but also with their SUVs, bringing fresh style, bringing fresh performance, and of course, all new technology. Now with this 500H, think about the name, F Sport Performance. Performance is within its name, and that's what's part of the game. This being a mid-size, two-row SUV, bringing some extra go-go juice to go up against the competition. Now, you may think about the usual suspects, the ones from BMW, from Mercedes-AMG, or from Audi. But what I want to do is, Lexus is the premium brand of Toyota. I want to go and compare it to another Japanese brand that has that premium level. I want to compare it to the new Acura MDX Type S. So let's go ahead, let's find out what's unique about this 500H F Sport Performance and see, is it the better performance luxury SUV to buy over the MDX Type S? Let's go ahead and find out. Right off the bat, the dimensions. So you're going to have a little bit more overhang, but they took the rear portion of the vehicle and cut some of the inches off. Now, when you're going F Sport Performance, this 500H, you got your LED headlight, that multi-beam LED headlights, and if you're comparing this to the MDX, both of them are gonna feature very nicely displayed LED multi-beam headlights. I love the way they did the turn signals, and of course, the signature style to the Lexus daytime running lamps. Now, working our way down, we do have some functionality. You have these large corner air curtains. You'll see some of that spindle grille design that's from the nose brought over to the corners, and they still bring out the actual LED fog lamps as well. On our 500H F Sport Performance, the way to know that this is the top trim is all of the nice gloss black, balances super clean with the vibrant white. And as we come across that body spindle grille, that's the new interpretation. So instead of the spindle grille going all the way to the top, we have that nose portion that is body colored, that curves down and then blends seamlessly into the rest of the grille design. We do get a forward facing camera on the 500H, and I like the way on the bottom portion that they have this flat metallic silver little splitter area, but all of it is for functionality, and of course we're going to get all-wheel drive performance. Now, if you're comparing this to the MDX Type S, I think the Type S has a little bit more cleaner style, but of course when it comes to how they perform, we're going to find out. Now, when we get up onto the hood, everything kind of just flows nicely into the A-pillars. What are some of the other big talking points on this 500H? So as we come around the bend, I really like the way that they did the wheel and tire setup. So you're getting these 21-inch wheels, nice satin black finish, multi-spoke design. There's actually 20 spokes there, count them up, wrapped in the Michelin Pilot Sport 4 tires. So you're gonna get some of that performance tire there. And then you'll notice that behind the massive rotors, we got massive brakes. 6-piston calipers, nicely displayed with the Lexus branding. Rotors, 15.7 inches in diameter, 2-piece rotors. That's larger than the California kitchen pizza that you ate last night while you were watching Rady's Rides. If you're comparing this to the MDX, guess what? We have larger brakes, not only calipers, 4-piston compared to 6-piston, but also larger rotors. Now, this obviously is set up on a front-wheel drive platform, but we got an electric motor out back, that E-axle that's gonna drive the rear wheels. Something different than the MDX Type S, which uses that mechanical super handling all-wheel drive. One other point on the style that kind of makes it unique, you'll see on our F Sport Performance, I like the way they have this nice flat black area. Of course, color matched all the way around the fender opening. We got our F Sport badge, a lot of history with the letter F and performance when it comes to Lexus. And then really where they hit the nail on the head, this trim is the only one that has dark chrome finish. So we have gloss black on the mirror caps, dark chrome trim on the mirror caps, and then we have the dark chrome finish around the top and the bottom of the window openings. You'll notice our two-tone style on the door handles, and then I really love the way they worked the side sill extension within the door. Very aggressive from the side of the vehicle. And then of course you have those nice low gloss black roof rails. Nice aerodynamic efficiency, panoramic sunroof. Compare these things to the MDX Type S. And then as we come around the tail, here's where we see some other differences. You'll notice on the 500H, how you got your gloss black, just like up front. We do have a fake vent, and I am gonna have to zonk that. This would have been nice to have some flow through there. And then on the lower portion, you'll notice that we have more of that grille like we did up front, but this is all blocked off. So it would have been nice to have some functionality to that. But the great news is, compared to the MDX, super clean. Where's the wiper? Does it have a wiper? Yes, it does. The rear glass wiper, just like we like to talk about here on Rady's Rides, is tucked underneath this nice long roof spoiler. And you'll notice that the roof spoiler is shaped a little differently than your standard RX, being on this 500H, and it's just super clean. I mean, this is just, look at this. You could actually put your elbow here and just kind of rest and think about how this vehicle is going to perform. We got our Lexus badging. Let me know if you think they should have done the letters in gloss black to kind of match with our blacked out theme. But we got the Lexus letters, no more badge in the center. RX 500H badging, that new upgraded, updated Direct 4 all-wheel drive system. And then working our way down, where this one comes up a little short compared to the MDX Type S, no exhaust showing. It does have them tucked underneath, but it would have been nice to have some exhaust tips like the MDX, quad tip, one exhaust on each side, whatever you got. It would have been nice to kind of have that balance. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk real performance for your money in this 500H. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Underneath the hood, it may look something familiar because you're gonna have the new standard RX 350 power plant. So if you were hoping for some type of V6 like the MDX Type S, that's where the differences are, and it's a major difference. But let's talk about how do we get to the performance of this 500H. So we have our 2.4 liter inline-4 turbocharged engine combined with 2 electric motors to give us 366 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, not a CVT. A 6-speed conventional automatic transmission. If you get on the throttle pedal and you are ready to go 0 to 60 in about 5.8 seconds, top speed 130 miles per hour, MPGs 27 in the city, 28 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 4,750 pounds. Now, the interesting thing is we don't have a lithium-ion battery pack. We have the older nickel metal hydride battery pack system, but this does have adaptive suspension. Comparing this to the MDX has a 3-liter V6 turbocharged engine, putting out 355 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque, mated to a 10-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in the Acura, 5.5 seconds. But here's where it really gets its butt kicked by the Lexus. MPGs, 17 in the city, 21 on the highway. So very interesting the way these two brands went about creating performance. The MDX has more horsepower, this has more torque, and like I said, those electric motors. So why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and hear if it makes any sound. All right, guys, we're in this all new, first time ever RX 500H F-Sport Performance. We're gearing up to take this for the first on-throttle drive. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've been thinking about getting an MDX Type S. They're hard to find right now, but you know, my mother and my grandmother have always had Lexus vehicles. They tell me that they're so reliable, but I've always wanted performance. But now you're saying that the RX has performance in its name, but how much is the price? So as of right now, there is no official pricing available yet, but many experts are estimating, guesstimating, and using their crystal balls that basically pricing is going to be between $59,000 and $69,000. We'll have to see what those numbers are once they're released to really compare it to the MDX Type S. But let's see what it's bringing interior-wise to the door panels. Absolutely love the clean, sporty style. So, of course, you're going to get soft touch material. You got that new Alcantara microfiber suede material. Loving the graphics. It's almost like a checkered flag kind of motif design. We got the red contrast stitching because we have the Rioja red interior. Mark Levinson premium sound system. You could see that red on that middle armrest area. Soft to the touch, no gloss black. And I'm really digging how Lexus has brought over their controls to open and close the doors now, especially with the safety feature that you're not just going to swing it open in traffic and get the door ripped off. Now, that lower pocket, pretty good size. I'm going to say probably 2 empanadas plus enough room for a super big gulp. Maybe 3 empanadas. Let's just go all in empanada style. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, soft touch material. I'm really digging this stack system on the interior. Let me know how you really feel about what they did here. I think it was so smart to take the Alcantara from the door panel, bring it on to the actual dash area. You got some of this aluminum trim. And then what do we got infotainment system-wise? If you look at your Acura, you're going to say, well, Joe, I got a pretty good size. But you know what? We got the 14-inch. This is that Lexus, Toyota, that all-new operating software. This really takes it to another level. We're going to go a little brief, so if you want to see more in depth, I'll leave the link to our in-depth walk-around on the new RX at the end of this one. But let me show you what is unique and special to the 500H. So we're going to hit our little car, little picture there, that little profile pic. This is where you go into your different modes. I'm actually going to zonk this. I wish they would have left some type of knob, switch, button, something tactile on the center console. So to go into sport, you just go ahead, you hit sport, normal, eco, and custom. So I like the way they got the different modes. Just wish that they would have it set up a little differently. Because this is a hybrid, we got our hybrid system. I want to use this diagram and give you a little lesson on torque distribution. So when you're driving down the road, 70% of the torque goes to the front wheels, 30% the rear wheels. When the system knows that you're going on throttle, 80% of the power could be sent to the rear wheels. So I really like the way they got that set up there. And you're going to have that power to the front as well. Of course, we got the all-new chassis to help with the handling. And we got that battery pack mounted in the middle, nice and low. That's going to help with handling as well. What else do we got? Of course, we got all the great features. We got ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. We do have our dual climate control readouts. Nice and clean. You hit this button, what do we got? Cameras. Your MDX Type S doesn't have that. Nice 360. You could actually count all the pebbles and stones in this Zen garden at the winery that we're at right now. And then you kind of zoom out, and I love the way it's that beautiful white color. Working our way down, you get a nice little cubby. What I like about this cubby, easily put 4 Twinkies in there. Perfect amount of size. You're not gonna bust cream on this beautiful interior. USB-Cs, we got 2 of them. So glad this is not gloss black. Look at that, no fingerprints, Mom. I said that they could do it, and they did it. Open this up, wireless charging, another USB-C, and a USB-A. So we got more connectivity in here than Circuit City did back in the day, and that's why they went out of business. But close that up, airtight seal, 2 cup holders. Here's your Lexus key fob. We're car number 5. 5 is everybody's favorite number. Flip it around. You could also have digital key access, which is great. This is an electric shifter in all the trims. This controls that 6-speed automatic transmission. Remember, MDX has a 10-speed automatic. That nice finish. I love the soft touch material. That Rioja red is just a perfect dark cherry red. Nice and soft. Let's open this up. What do we got? Watch this. You're gonna love it. I could open it for you, and we could see you got felt lining in there. So remember when you were a kid and you went camping to Yosemite and your grandmother bought that Smokey the Bear figurine for you? It's large enough for that 11-inch tall figurine. Keep Smoking the Bear in there. Remember, stop forest fires. Or I could flip it up my way. This is just smart engineering. I mean, why all vehicles don't do that and do it so easily is beyond me. Seats. This is another thing that I absolutely love. First of all, I got to do this. That's like part of my pet peeves, my OCD. I like to have the headrest close, that F Sport badge, the red with the black. This is leather interior with the Alcantara. And of course, you do have power assist on the side for the passenger and power assist on the driver, but there's that Alcantara material. Nice little blending of the 2 materials with the leather and the Alcantara. Alcantara all over the headliner, the sunshade, the A-pillars, and then of course we have that optional panoramic sunroof. Not standard, just small sunroof, which that would be standard, but we got the optional panoramic sunroof. Really, really love just the nice ease of operation. Look, Mom, no hands, one touch operation. And the cherry on top of this performance Sunday is we got a digital rearview mirror. That's for you to take a look at all the MDXs, the Type S's that are behind you as you're beating them down that road. But why don't you come over here? I'm gonna put this back on me. Looking good. Come on over to the business end. I want to show you behind the wheel of the new 500H F Sport Performance. All right, guys, behind the business end, you got 3 memory seat settings. You got that sill plate with the F Sport badge. Nice touch, very classy. And then Lexus does a smoking job on the pedal box. Nice large dead pedal, aluminum finish, brake pedal, and throttle. We got the RX F Sport floor mats. That's an additional 5 horsepower. Easy to reach seat controls with the nice finishes. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom. The seats are not too abrasive when they're holding you into place, but you're still able to have some movement so you could kind of, get down with the tunes while you're rocking out, or they will hold you pretty well through the twisty bits. We're gonna find out for sure, but that's what I've been told. Steering wheel, the great leather. Lexus does a great job with their steering wheels. The perforated leather, smooth leather, red stitching just like Babe Ruth's baseball. And then guess what? Tasteful horn button. I wish this stitching was real. Like have the red here. So I am gonna zonk that, but I do like the way you get an F Sport specific steering wheel. We have paddles on the back of the wheel. They are plastic to go up and down the 6-speed automatic transmission. And we also have an electronic tilting and telescoping steering wheel. The great news is that we have that 7-inch digital display, very, very clear graphics, which are wonderful. And this is where you're gonna go into the different modes. So by going into the different modes, it actually changes up the screen. So there's your sport, there's your eco, and you do have custom. We're gonna leave it in full sport, ready to rock and roll. And there's a nice, massive head-up display that really allows you to focus on what you're doing. Now, some of the new tech, safety-wise, is that traffic jam assist, like we mentioned in the full walk-around. Watch that one if you want to know all the details, but we're gonna get to that back seat and the cargo area because I'm ready to go on throttle. Guys, back seat time, and I'm telling you, when you're ready for that next little family trip, it's gonna be a lot more fun, not only for the people up front, especially the driver, but also the back seat. The materials are great, the Alcantara, the leather all the way around. You got a good sized pocket. You could easily get 5 Mad Lib books back here. I highly recommend getting those for your family trip. They make things so much funnier. Plus, it gets the kids to put down their electronic devices. Now, if they refuse, they do have 2 USB-Cs back here to keep those things charged. And what's nice is you actually have temperature controls and your AC vents. I got my own pocket over here. Lots of room. I feel really great, even with the panoramic sunroof. And then watch this. Pull that down. Not the softest, but the great news is we could actually go and get some of the grapes here from the winery, and you could easily put a nice bushel of grapes there. Open that up, 2 cup holders, flip it back down. You do, speaking of flipping down, you do have handles to recline the seats. So that's really nice. You could bring them up right about there, or you could go wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Let's go ahead. Let's get into that cargo area, though, and see what kind of mail we could haul in this 500 guys. Cargo area time. Now, what's interesting is with this all-new RX on this new platform, they actually sped up the opening of the rear hatch. So there's some performance for you. And then what are you greeted to? Just like your other RX trims, you're getting the same amount of space. 29.59 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Fold the seats down, 46.19 cubic feet of space. Now, where the MDX Type S shines over this RX is you got the 3rd row seating. But how usable really is that seat? And if you look, we do have a cargo net, which is great. You're gonna wanna use this because when you're going through the twisty bits, you don't want your Twinkies sliding all over this rear cargo area. I love the F Sport badging on the cargo net. That's worth an additional 5 horsepower. We got a subwoofer, and we have the switch gear to fold the seats down and a 12 volt. But guess what? There's one more thing. We actually have a nicely placed home power source right there on the passenger side. So they definitely got you covered with the tail end of the business. But you know what? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead, take this RX 500H and see if it lives up to its performance name. Let's go find out. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Lexus RX 500H F Sport Performance. We got rear wheel steering on an RX in this 500H F Sport Performance. Of course, we got to go on throttle. I'm going to manually shift through the 6-speed automatic with the pedals on the back of the steering wheel. If you're ready, I'm ready. I got it in sport mode. On throttle, here we go. Nice. You got your head-up display. On those massive over 15-inch rotors. Now this is fun. What's great is that with the adaptive suspension, it really soaks up the bumps. That part of road was kind of really ripped up, soaks up the bumps nicely. With the rear wheel steer, when you're going slow, like through a grocery store parking lot, the rear wheels counter steer with the direction of the steering wheel to help you get around that tighter turn. It's about 4 degrees. And then as you're going on throttle, they steer in unison with whatever way you're turning the steering wheel. But you're definitely feeling the agility of this RX 500H. And I really think that with the brakes, with the tires, using those Michelin tires, it's really showing that sport intention. Not as much horsepower as the MDX Type S, and definitely not as many gears in the transmission. Like I said, the Type S has 10-speed automatic. This has a 6-speed, but really, really nice with when you hit the paddle, the downshifts are really consistent. You are getting noise pumped in through the sound system. Nothing too crazy. It seems pretty normal overall, but obviously nothing is like the real thing. And I think that's where the MDX Type S really comes into play, is in the sound of that V6. But through this left-hand bend, look at this, tracks nicely. This is fun. I'm in 3rd gear. You can hold that gear all the way around. Look at this. Just a little bit of input into the steering wheel. I like the feedback that I'm getting from the steering wheel. I just would like some real sound. I think that's the one thing I'm missing, is some actual sound. But man, you come out of a corner and you get on throttle, the power just works great. You got that torque distribution. 80% is going to the rear wheels. All right, guys, I got some more on throttle for you. You ready? I'm ready. On throttle. The traction is phenomenal. You can feel the difference in the chassis with this GAK, as in kite chassis that we're on, that global architecture. Soaks up the bumps nicely, but really helps in the agility of this vehicle. Normally you shouldn't do stuff like this in an RX, but it works. It really works well. Look at this. All right, guys, second gear. On throttle, here we go. Torque is instantaneous. I do feel, though, the MDX Type S does bring a little something extra to the table. It's hard to really discern because this RX does have all that great torque. So it's like one of those things that I think where you're gonna win, obviously, hands down, is gonna be MPGs. This trumps the MDX Type S MPGs. Overall performance, I think it might go to the Type S, but I'm actually gonna put it in just regular automatic mode so that we can see how that 6-speed shifts through the gearbox. So now we're in regular drive, obviously in sport mode. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Smooth shifts. Just not as good as the 10-speed in the MDX. Nice. Having the head-up display really gives us a nice bird's eye view, so you're not looking down at the dash. Visual reference points out the windshield. The A-pillars are pulled far apart. You got great visibility out the back, the side mirrors, plus you got the Lexus 3.0 safety features. But the adaptive suspension's doing a good job, and definitely the braking is doing a phenomenal job. I tell you, I didn't think I was gonna be having this big of a smile on my face, but it really translates super well, especially through these long sweepers. That's really where it feels good, because you got that nickel metal hydride battery low in the chassis. Just helps with the handling because it's lowering your center of gravity. But hopefully this has been a nice overall view and review of this 500h F Sport Performance. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a fun-filled performance kind of day here on the outskirts of Santa Barbara. I definitely want to thank everybody with the Lexus team for inviting us to this media drive event so that you could be part of the fun and the action. Let me know what you think. Lexus, Acura, two prolific brands within the luxury performance segment of the auto industry, each doing it their own way. Are you putting your money on this new RX 500h F Sport Performance with that mile-long name, or are you gonna go MDX Type S? Let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. We definitely got to thank the muscle and the performance behind the lens, working the camera day in and day out like a champ. Show Lori some love in that comment section. Thank you, Lori, for being the best in the biz. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.